Hello guys, and welcome to video 1 in what is going to be a very long series, whether you like it or not, because I'm excited about it. This is one of the first ideas I had for my channel, and I'm finally getting around to it. And this is going to be the Hannah Swenson, read by Hannah Zajas, murder mystery series. We're going to be doing full spoiler vlogs for every book in this series, and there are a lot of them. Let's find out. How many books are in the Hannah Swenson mystery series? 33 books. So this will be a 33-part video until book 34 comes out. But hopefully we're able to do maybe like one of these a month, and that'll last us like years. But if you guys like it, maybe we'll do it more. Who knows? So if you've never read one of these books, I will be honest, I have already read The Carrot Cake Murder. I will reread it for this series. And the Plum Pudding Murder. This book looks really long, but the actual book only is about 300 pages. This, just for some odd reason, after the epilogue, the version of this that I got has a like novella at the end, which we will not be reading, but this is the first book in the series, and again, this is going to be a full spoiler vlog. These are just corny little cozy mysteries, but what's fun about these, and what's special about this video, is throughout these books, there are recipes, and there is something I do want to, like, verify that my memory is not deceiving me. Yes, okay. So as the series goes on, there's, like, tons of recipes. Like, this book has almost 20 recipes in it. This one has, like, 6. So I think as the series went on, Miss Joanne Fluke realized how fun the recipe portion was and added more to them. So this book only has a handful of recipes to make, and all the recipes in this book are dessert. I have made the recipes in a recipe from one of the other ones that I've read for like a cheese ball, like a savory hors d'oeuvre type thing that I've brought to different like Thanksgiving, Christmas type holidays. But this book only has desserts, so we're gonna be making 2 to 3. I'm thinking 3 recipes. I looked through the contents to see which recipes we're gonna make. We're gonna make lots of trips to the store because I'm only have my like bookmark in there, but we're gonna be going to the store for each recipe, see what we need. And yeah, I'm very excited. We will go over what we think is happening. To be honest, I've already read, by the time I'm filming this, I've already read the first couple of chapters, and I'm about to head to the store to get the ingredients for the chocolate chip crunch the chocolate chip crunch cookies, because we can't read the chocolate chip cookie murder without them. But we're gonna go read this book. We're gonna go back in time so you can see what I thought of the first 2 chapters. And yeah, I hope you guys are excited about this. I'm excited about this. One thing about me is I love to bake. Growing up, I wanted to be a baker. I wanted to be a chef. I wanted to be all of these like culinary things, but I'm too picky of an eater to be a chef, and I'm not creative enough to make up my own recipes. So I am really excited to get into making some fun things from these books. Maybe I will discover some of my new favorite sweet treats to bring to different holidays. So let's get into book 1 of this series. And can we also talk about how cute this is? If this goes well and we like this series, I think it's on my wish list for Christmas, but I may get the special edition of this book. It's hardcover and it's blue, and the spine looks like chocolate chips. It's so cute. But let's go. Alright guys, we are going to get started on our chocolate chip murder Joanne Fluke book. I'm laying on a heated pad right now because my back hurts really bad from doing work when I am too old to be sitting on the floor, and like, you know, it is what it is. But I'm probably only going to read like 1 chapter because it's already 10:30 p.m. and I'm a sleepy girl. But I'm going to start this book and I'll let you know my thoughts. Update number 1. This is her cat's name, and we can't figure out how to say it. So it's weird starting this series having read like 2 books in the middle, because I feel like I vaguely know who some of the characters are. We just met her mother, Dolores, and then I remembered that it's so funny because the main character's name is Hannah. My name's Hannah. I'm pretty sure her sister's name is Andrea. One of my best friend's name is Andrea. Her mom's name is Dolores. My grandma's name is Dolores. So it's just like a little funny thing. But I looked up a video on how to say this cat's name, and it's, I think, from what I gather, Moisha. So that's what I'm going with, but in my head I just read it as Mochi for some reason. Ooh, but it's Moisha. And then there's a love interest named Norman. So far no mystery, but I'm literally like 3 pages in. Also, I had to look up when this book was originally published, and it was 2006, which makes sense because they have a house phone. I got lazy last night and didn't want to keep updating you guys, so I just took notes on chapter 1. I only read chapter 1. So we were learning a lot about Mr. Delivery Man Ron. The police officer named Herb, don't like him. He's a piece of work. I've already got bad vibes about him. Tell me how he's giving people tickets for not locking their cars when they're parked. Is that a law? Because if so, news to me. I love that this is set during the current time of the year. It's like they're talking about Thanksgiving coming up and Christmas, and it is November when I'm filming this, so we love that. We're introduced to Lisa, who works at the bakery. We've been introduced to so many characters in this first chapter. Lisa works at the bakery. Her dad has Alzheimer's. We've met her sister Andrea, who's the middle sister. Hannah's the oldest sister, and then Michelle is the youngest sister. Andrea has a daughter named Tracy. We were introduced to Tracy. This is all like in the first chapter. There's so many people that it's really kind of overwhelming me, but also Andrea doesn't want Tracy to call her mom. She's like, yeah, like I just don't really like Tracy refers to her as Andrea, and she's like, what do you mean? She's like, she doesn't want me to call her mommy anymore. She doesn't like that label. Very weird. And then essentially at the end of the chapter, they're talking about like Ron not like showing up for his shift. And then Ron, at the end of chapter 1, you find him that he was shot dead in his delivery truck. So we know that earlier in the morning, Hannah was driving into work and she saw Ron and they waved. So all of this happened within like a little bit of time. What I don't understand is that the delivery truck is nearby to Hannah's work, but nobody heard a gunshot, but this happened after Hannah got to work. So I'm not really sure how that all makes sense, but we haven't really met anybody that seems suspicious besides slightly mentioning Herb, the police officer. Also, we got introduced to Norman. I believe I talked about that, who's like a love interest. I'm sorry if your name is Norman, but I would simply not date somebody whose name was Norman. That name is horrifying. But yeah, I'm probably gonna read a bunch more of this today. I don't know when I think it's coming up here soon. Yeah, after chapter 2, we will be getting our first recipe, which is for the chocolate crunch cookies. And we will be making those together, probably tomorrow. And I'm very excited. There's butter, sugar, brown sugar, baking soda, salt, vanilla, eggs, flour, and cornflakes. I'll have to go to the store and get cornflakes and chocolate chips. So, that's exciting. But, so far, it's fine. Cozy mysteries tend to be fine, and I do feel kind of slumpy right now, so this is kind of bad vibes to not be reading something that's super exciting. After this, I was going to read my book club book, but I think I'm going to pivot to a different video, which is reading books from authors I've given 5 stars before, because I need things that I know are going to be bangers. So that's the plan, but we're going to continue on with this. I hope to read most of it between today and tomorrow with the interludes for baking. Okay, we're starting chapter 2, and this literally says, it wasn't the way that Hannah preferred to attract new clientele, but she had to admit finding Ron's dead body had been good for business. What? I'm gonna be honest, I kind of hate the sister Andrea. She's like a bitch. She like comes into the bakery and is like, Hannah, get in the back now. We need to talk. And she's like, I'm working. She's like, I don't care. Get in the back. Have Lisa come man the front. So she sends, like, Andrea goes in the back and sends Lisa up. And then Andrea's just staring at the ovens, and Hannah's like, is something wrong with the oven? And she's like, no. Lisa said these need to come out of the oven. You know I don't bake. My guy, I don't think you need to know how to bake to know how to take something out of an oven, but okay. So there's that, and then she's like, Tracy's at preschool saying she saw a dead body. How could you do this to me? And Hannah's like, she didn't. She saw them remove the body, like, remove him in a body, like, she saw the body bag, but that's because your husband was driving her to school as they were doing it, loading it in. And she's like, oh, I'm sorry, girl is drama. But, continuing on, I'm probably not going to update for a little bit. I want, like, some more tea. It's just there's so many names that I feel like if I don't, like, address it immediately, then, like, I'm going to forget who everybody is, which would be a tragedy. Okay, I think our first suspect is, I don't know his name, I don't remember, but it's the guy. So Andrea is a real estate agent, and some guy was coming to look at some like farm property, and I think he might be the first suspect because she's like, he seemed like a real buyer. I usually can tell if somebody's just like a a looky-loo from a mile away, but he seemed like a real buyer. We didn't even have to solicit him. He came to us. And his meeting with Andrea was like right after the time in which Ron would have been killed. I mean, we're only 6% in, so I feel like there's definitely more to it than that. Or it could be that simple, because it is a cozy mystery. But so far, he seems suspicious. Whenever I figure out his name, we'll add it to the suspect list. But as of right now, his name doesn't exist. He also drove a rental car. That's suspicious. And she's like, yeah, he didn't want to drive his Jaguar on the gravel roads. Nah. I'm sensing that reasons for suspicion is that he made the appointment and then decided he didn't want to buy the place at all. Like, not even like, I'll let you know. He's just like, nah. And then he drove a rental car. Very sus. I forgot this tidbit that Tracy, the little girl, was the last person probably to see Ron alive because she was waiting for Andrea to pick up papers at the realty office. And then that's when Ron drove by with the truck and she waved at him. So that means the guy that she was showing the house to may have been nearby. Things are starting to make sense because remember how I said, how did nobody hear the, like, gunshot? Well, Tracy had mentioned that she heard, like, his car make a loud noise like her daddy's truck does, and they assumed that that meant that the Ron's truck backfired, but now we're thinking maybe Tracy heard the gun go off. Is all of this going to come back to a preschooler being able to solve the murder? That would be wild. Chapter 2 done, and we have reached our recipe for the good old chocolate chip crunch cookies. And it's currently 5 o'clock, and I'll be honest, I don't love a trip to the grocery store at 5 o'clock. But I think I have most of the stuff to make these cookies. Butter, I don't know if I have 2 sticks, I'll have to check. I have white sugar, I have brown sugar. I'll check, I might need more sugar though. I have baking soda, I think. Yeah, I definitely do. I have salt, I have vanilla, I have eggs, I have flour, I need to get cornflakes, and I have chocolate chips. Let's see what this recipe entails. Very cute. Here she is. We're gonna melt the butter. I love that they have like these bolded notes. It says, these cookies have been Andrea's favorite since high school. Hannah's note, if these cookies spread out too much in the oven, reduce the temperature to 250 and do not flatten before baking. So that's cute, 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 cute. I think I'm going to probably like predetermine, I'm not going to make all of the recipes in this book. This one doesn't actually have that many. But in the later books, there's recipes that aren't just cookies. This also drives me insane that the book ends like a 300-page book, and then there's like a whole additional like 85 pages. Yes, there is in here chocolate chip cookies, ginger crisps, pecan chews, black and whites, chocolate covered cherry delights, old-fashioned sugar cookies, and lovely lemon bar cookies. I think we will probably make the chocolate chips, the ginger crisps, and the lemon bars. Sounds like the best to me, depending on how much effort the lemon bars. Shouldn't be too bad, but I think that will be like my goal. I think I'm gonna go to the store and get the stuff to make these chocolate chip crunch cookies. I'm gonna get ready and then go to the store, get the stuff to make those. Maybe make them tonight. Then I will hopefully make the ginger crisps. I'll probably get further than that, but I'll probably make them on Wednesday so I can bring them with me to my friend's house on Thursday. And then maybe get to the lemon bars for Friday so I can bring them to game night. That would be probably the best course of action because we won't eat this many sweets. But chocolate chip crunch cookies I think is most likely what me and my husband would eat. Form your dough into walnut-sized balls. What the fuck is the size of a walnut? Couldn't tell ya. 12 to a standard sheet. 6 to 8 dozen. Great. Okay. I'm going to go check on the sugar, and I know I need cornflakes. Oh, and the butter. So I'm going to check on the sugar and the butter, and then I'll head to the store after I get my hair and makeup done because I want to look cute for the baking portion, and I need to film the intro to this video still. Okay guys, welcome to my kitchen. It is a mess, but we are here. We're gonna check on the ingredients we needed to check on, which included the sugar. We have like a couple of cups of sugar in there. I don't know if we have more in the cabinet that needs to be added. No, I don't think so. I don't think we need sugar for this. This requires 2 sticks of butter. I have 4 sticks, so we're good on that. The only thing we need to pick up, I'll check on the vanilla, make sure we have enough of vanilla. We're out of vanilla, so we will grab vanilla and cornflakes, and I think that's all we need for this recipe. Double check. Butter, do I have brown sugar? I'm pretty sure I do. Yep, brown sugar is right there. So we have the brown sugar. Baking soda, I'm pretty sure I have a brand new one in here if need be. Yep, my syrup in there. And I have tons of chocolate chips. We have eggs. We just bought flour at the store today. So let's go to good old HEB. Okay guys, we are here. We are situated. We have got all of our ingredients out for our recipe. Let us see. Okay, so we have our butter. First things first is we need to get that bitch melted. So I think I'm gonna go the microwave method. I could do it on the stove, but I just really don't want to. So I'm gonna go microwave our butter and get her nice and melty, and then we'll add her to our KitchenAid mixing bowl. Okay, we're waiting on the butter, but the butter is gonna get added in here with both our white sugar and our brown sugar. And we need 1 cup of each. I brought out a full cup and a half of a cup. My half cup is easier to scoop down into my sugar canister. Also, my half cup came mislabeled and says 3rd cup on it, so that's awkward. So we got that. So that's done with the regular sugar, and then we also need a cup of brown sugar. It didn't specify light or dark, so I'm just using what I have, which is light. And we'll just, again, easier to just do 2 half cups. Okay. It's gonna be the sugar. I wish I had something. I need to like invest in something that keeps my book held open. I guess I could hold it open with my phone. So we're gonna add the butter and the sugars and stir. Our butter is definitely melted. We're gonna take this over to the mixer and get her mixed. All right, the mixer, I don't know if you guys can see it, right over here. Christmas cranberry Sprite, and I did purchase well, it's at the store. I did grab a couple of non-cookie related items. I got myself a salad to eat for dinner, as well as I prefer making cookie dough. I prefer to not use like a whisk attachment. Like this attachment, I'll show you guys. It's like a paddle, but it has like a rubber spatula on the edge, so it like scrapes the bowl. But I got eggs, and then I did pick up the new Christmas Alani. I don't have our bowl locked in. That's my bad. Yeah, so I picked that up. I'm excited to try that tomorrow. I don't want all that caffeine currently, but you know. Next, we're going to add the baking soda, the salt, and the vanilla. I need to get out the baking soda. That's one ingredient that I forgot to grab. I am just going to put a paper towel underneath here for when I'm taking this off in case it drips. Now, we will grab our bowl, and we're going to add in salt. How much salt does this say to use? 1 teaspoon. I just kind of measure it with what looks right to me. It's gonna have the cornflakes in here, which also are kind of salty, so it's probably good enough. And then 2 teaspoons, I think, of baking powder is what it says. 2 teaspoons baking powder and 2 teaspoons of vanilla. I also learned that I definitely had vanilla. It was just very, very, and I mean very, varied in our cabinet. Because you see those cabinets in the countertop? That's all I have in this kitchen. This kitchen is tragic in this rental property, but it is what it is. What what we can afford, so that's what we go with. 2 teaspoons, just triple checking before I put it in. 2 teaspoons baking soda. This is soda, right? Yep. 1, 2. Oh my god, I forgot to preheat the oven. What am I preheating this bitch to? 375. That's fine. And then the vanilla. I always like to make sure that I use, like, I did the powder first because now the I mean, I have multiple teaspoons, but now this teaspoon's gonna have had liquid in it, so it's gonna be kind of wet. Okay, 2 teaspoons of vanilla, and we're gonna, oh, and the eggs. Okay, I missed that portion of this, but that's fine. It says to put the eggs in already beaten, which I think is very weird. I've never experienced that, and I've done a lot of baking in my years. But yeah, it says to add the soda, salt, vanilla, and the beaten eggs. So I do have a bowl here. Have a bowl here for us to put our eggs in and pre-beat them with a fork. For the instructions, it says you can beat them up with a fork. It also specifies not sifted flour. I've never sifted. Well, I have sifted flour with like my grandmother, but like, I've never seen a recipe say not to sift something, so it's also really weird. I also think eggs are one of the most disgusting foods on earth. So, you guys ever had an egg with 2 yolks? I never have, but I can guarantee you right now that will make me throw up. We're gonna go mix this up. Such like a weird step to pre-beat the eggs, but whatever. And I also find it not very common to have to melt the butter. It usually needs to be softened. I mean, melted works better for me personally because I didn't have to wait for it to soften. So that's always tragedy times. I'm gonna wash my hands from touching raw egg. Okay. Then I am going to put away the ingredients we've already used because we clean up as we go. It says to mix well, so I'm gonna let that mix for a bit. We've used our salt, we have used our vanilla. I am planning on redoing these cabinets for a main channel video here in the future, but we will see when I have time for that. Just has not occurred. All these like stupid protein mixing cups that nobody uses. Okay. Not used the rest of our ingredients. This looks very mixed. It looks, I'll have to show it to you guys. It looks kind of like caramel at the moment. Like the consistency and the color of it looks like caramel, but whatever. Then add the flour. So we're gonna add 2.5 cups of non-sifted flour. It doesn't say to do it like in increments. It just says add the flour and stir it in. So 1, 2.5. I'm gonna make my half a little bit heaping because that second cup wasn't like completely full, if I'm being honest. Okay. Based on the book, this recipe came about because Andrea was trying out for cheerleading and Hannah did not think she was going to make the team. So she wanted to make her some chocolate oatmeal cookies and they were out of oatmeal. So she put in crushed cornflakes instead. And it says we're going to need 2 cups of those as well. I am going to, it says to crush them with your hands. I'm going to put them in a freezer bag and crush them that way, because otherwise it's going to be like gross and all over my hands and I don't like love that idea. I'll turn this a little faster. The dough is really coming together. This is so far just like a basic dough, obviously, nothing crazy. I'm gonna be honest with you, this might be crazy. I don't think I've ever eaten just plain cornflakes. And since it says 2 cups crushed cornflakes, so I'm just gonna put a little bit, I'm gonna put like over 2 cups in here. To be honest, the cereal, the rest of this probably won't get eaten and less crispy fit, but this is not the kind of cereal I would eat. I'm more like a Fruity Pebble children's cereal type of gal. I'm gonna put 3 cups in here because I think whenever they crush down, we'll lose some volume. We're gonna dip this and crush the cornflakes. Should be good. If I need more, I'll just crush up some more. Because 1 to 2 cups of chocolate chips. I mean, if you're giving me the option, I'm gonna go with more. Who in their right mind when giving the option of more or less chocolate chips goes with less? It's definitely not liquid anymore. We've got a nice dough. Okay. We need 2 cups of cornflakes, crushed. 1. We actually do need a bit more. It's not quite another cup in here. Just added another handful. So I feel like that's like the special ingredient, so I don't want to skimp out on it, you know? Perfect. I'm just gonna dump this last bit of crumbs in there. Is that a waste of a bag? Kind of, but at the end of the day, it made life easier. Then it just says chocolate chips, does not specify what flavor. I always bake with semi-sweet. I'm not really like a dark chocolate girl, but I do think that milk chocolate is like kind of too sweet for baking. And this in here, I have a combo of mini and regular size chocolate chips. So. Like a cup, 1 3/4 cup of chocolate chips. And I'm just gonna add this other bag to this. And it's my chocolate chip storage station, you know? Then we will toss this back on the mixer. And then we'll be getting ready to put these bad boys in the oven. The oven's almost preheated. It's at 345 currently. I will put the cornflakes on the cereal shelf, see if husband eats them. Also, these cookies are really, really good. I might want to remake them. So, maybe I'll use the cornflakes. You never know. You never know. The dough is really going. Okay. I'm gonna get out my cookie scoop. I don't know what walnut size is. This is the size of the scoop I have. That's what I'm gonna use. Get out a bunch of baking trays. Who knows how many I'll need. We'll definitely need cooling racks. It like specified that. And I have some silicone baking mats. We'll get those out. Start with like my big Mama Jamma. I think this is the standard size that they would want me to put 6 or 12 on, so I can probably do 15 on this one, 3 rows of 6. Okay, our dough is looking amazing. Amazing. I feel like you can tell a lot from a cookie dough, like especially the more you bake, which I've been baking for forever. Basically, growing up, on my mom's side of the family, my grandmother was like the pie maker of the family, and for a bit there, me and my sister, my mom, my parents got divorced, my mom lived with my grandmother, and I would bake with her all the time, and then every like Thanksgiving Eve, we would go over and help her make the pies. It's just like a really big family tradition. So, I feel very at home with baking. So I'm gonna try to do 3 rows of 6 and go from there. And it does say to flatten these out with a spatula, a floured and greased spatula. So we will do that. One. Yeah, I do not think that's gonna happen. We're gonna just do it like this. We may be having to do multiple batches in the oven, which is completely fine because they only take 8 to 10 minutes, I believe is what it says. 8 to 10 minutes, then cool on the cookie sheet for 2 minutes, and then remove to a wire rack until they are completely cooled. The rack is important, it makes them crisp. I love when recipes give you like tidbits, like tips, tricks, info. After these first batches, it says that if they spread out too much in the oven, turn down the temperature. I don't think that'll happen. I feel like my temperature or my oven runs cool. Sorry, I don't mean to be standing, but I think my oven runs kind of cold, so it should be fine. Rubber spatula. We're just gonna flatten them a bit. I don't have this greased or floured, but I don't think it's like necessary. So that's tray 1. But yeah, so growing up, I would make pies with my grandmother all the time. I have not really like made much pie in my adult life because I'm not like, honestly, pie is like on the bottom of desserts for me. It's not like one that I go out of my way for. Like pie is fine. I like a pecan pie. It's not really something we made with my grandma. We made apple pies mainly. I am originally from New York, but I guess my pie taste has always been southern. I live in Texas now, but yeah, we made plenty of apple pie. We would make banana cream pie, pumpkin pie, me and my grandma. But she unfortunately now has to live in assisted living because she's like almost 90. So yeah, it'd be that way. I think I'm gonna just bake these 2 trays and not use the other trays. Put these 2 in the oven for the 8 to 10 minutes, and then we'll put the rest of the dough in as like a second batch because I don't think they're all gonna fit on these other trays anyway. And I want to be able to adjust the temperature if need be. Does it say? It says 8 to 10 minutes. Sometimes recipes will give you like until the edges are brown, no indication. It just says 8 to 10 minutes. Figure it out, bitch. So we're gonna start with 8 because whenever you're baking, you do want to start at a lower temperature. It also says to put them in the middle rack, I'm pretty sure it said. Can I make that up? Yeah, I made it up. Okay. Set timer for 8 minutes. We will check back in 8 minutes and I will have my wire racks set up. Okay, y'all, it has been 8 minutes. I am going to check if they look done, and then they need to cool on the cookie sheet for 2 minutes. The reason you do that is the cookie keeps baking on the sheet because the sheet is hot. They don't look even a little bit done, I don't think, but I also don't want to overbake them, and 2 minutes really can overbake something, but they don't look done at all, really. I mean, I'll put them in for 1 more minute. Just do 1 minute to be safe. So 9 minutes, then we'll take them out. Then I'm gonna pull them out. I won't like stop to show you guys. I'm gonna pull them out and let them cool on the, we'll probably just talk to you for the whole minute. I will let them cool on the on the trays for 2 minutes, and then we'll pick back up and put them on the cooling rack and fill the trays again with new dough. They have not spread out too much. That will not be an issue, thankfully. I'm reading chapter 3 right now of the book, and Hannah is going to the school to work for some Boy Scout situation, and we're finding out that Ron made his delivery to the lunch lady Edna this morning, but she didn't see him, but everything was stocked. So it's a question of whether or not he was really there, but yeah, nothing has really happened. And then I think I probably won't update you guys for a bit because that baking segment was like 20 minutes long. I don't want this video to be like 8 hours. Maybe we'll only bake one other thing. We'll see. It's been one whole minute. Let's pull these bad boys out. I'm gonna move them over to the counter because I don't want to have them on the stovetop because my stovetop gets slightly warm when the oven's on. So the edges do look brown, so I think that is indicating that they are cooked. But I'm just gonna time it for 2 minutes, keep reading, and I'll check in with you guys when we put them on here. Okay guys, the husband is joining us for the cookie taste test. Did I tell you what the secret ingredient is?
No, you haven't told me anything.
Okay, they're chocolate chip cookies with a secret ingredient.
Okay.
And so
am I gonna try to guess it?
Tall at me.
Oh shit. Am I tall or are you short?
I'm short. Okay, so I'm gonna give you a cookie and I want you to see if you can guess what the hidden secret special ingredient is.
Okay.
These are called chocolate chip crunchies.
Chocolate chip crunchies.
They're like chewy and crunchy at the same time.
These are kind of banging.
What do you rate it?
An 8.
So in the book, this is Hannah's sister Andrea's favorite cookie. And she made them for her in high school by accident because she was going to make her oatmeal chocolate chip cookies and they were out of oatmeal. What do you think she used to replace that?
Rice.
Nope.
What is it?
Cornflakes.
Yo, it's good as fuck though. These are bussin'.
Also, it says it made 6 to 8 dozen and it made 3 dozen, so. I mean, I don't need 6 to 8 dozen cookies, so that's fine.
That's too many cookies.
But I think they're a win. First recipe of this video, get the thumbs up. Book video update. Okay, so basically what's going on is they found these cups that Ron and a mystery woman drank out of, and Hannah and Bill is like her brother-in-law, and he's a cop, have been like hunting around to find this lipstick, and they found it's basically like the Mary Kay seller of the town, Luann or something like that, sells it. And basically, TLDR, the only person in town who wears it is Danielle, who is like this coach's wife. And so now Hannah thinks somehow she's involved and they're at some sort of like Boy Scout event, or maybe it's not the Boy Scout event, they're at some sort of event. And Danielle is in the bathroom crying. So like very sus on Miss Danielle. Also, Danielle's husband was out of town and she just like made a comment that he worries about me and he doesn't like me gone too long. So now my current theory is that Danielle was secretly like cheating on her husband with Ron, and her husband got home early, caught wind of this, and killed him. That's my current theory. Okay, so it turns out, so much going on in like this chapter. Bill is Danielle's GA sponsor, Gamblers Anonymous, and her husband Boyd doesn't know that she has a gambling problem. So that's where we're at with Danielle. Okay, I'm about 1/4 of the way, 28% done. And as of now, I'm not really sure what to be thinking or who to suspect. I still think maybe Danielle's husband Boyd, but essentially, Ron went to the dentist, so and Norman, the guy her mom's trying to set her up with, is the dentist, the only dentist in town. So she went to meet up with him. He has an alibi because he was fixing her mom's tooth during that time. And then he asked her to be his like date to this ball that they're having. But while they were at the office, she brought Andrea with her, and Andrea searched the office and found something. So Hannah opened it, and it says, Hannah couldn't say a word. Her tongue seemed glued to the roof of her mouth. She stared down at the stack of Polaroids and blinked hard. No, she wasn't imagining things. The images were still there. There were no faces, just pictures of women's torsos, and everyone was nude to the waist. So they found a manila folder full of nudes at Norman's office, question mark. Very weird, and they're all past dental patients. I don't know. It seems very odd. I'm very confused. Maybe Norman's a bad guy. I feel like I remember him in the later books, though, like, being somebody she's seeing. So, like, it was also his dad's dental practice prior. So, like, are they his dad's pictures? I don't know, man, but it's really weird. But I'm still leaning in the camp that it's that Danielle, because basically the Danielle girl, she like got home really early in the morning and like snuck into the house through a back alley, I don't know, so that like nobody would see Bill or Ron's car, blah, blah, blah. But something tells me it's still her husband, Boyd, who did it. That's the vibes I'm getting. Danielle's husband, the coach, has an alibi, so it's definitely not him. No other suspects currently. I don't know if you guys can hear the rain, but it's perfect cozy reading weather. But we're about 35% in, and Hannah's at her apartment, and there's somebody outside in their car watching into her apartment with binoculars, and she thinks it might be the killer. So that's kind of spooky, but no idea who it is. They just keep ruling out, they like introduce a possible suspect, and within like two paragraphs rule them out, so no ideas. It was the neighbor's son. He did not have binoculars. Hannah's just dumb, and he was just waiting for his mom to get home. Okay, y'all, they're at this rich people party, and their son, Benton, is, I guess, back in town, and Hannah doesn't like him. He's her sister's ex-boyfriend, but I feel like the rich boy being back in town gives he's the killer energy. I feel like it's a very popular trope in books, so new suspect, question mark? One of the most corncob things about this book is anytime Hannah is interviewing somebody, she'll be like, so what happened? And they'll tell her, and she's like, there's nothing else, and they're like, no. She's like, are you sure there's nothing else? And every single time they're like, yeah, there's nothing. Oh, wait, yes, there is. Literally every time. It is so corny, but what do you expect? It's a cozy mystery, which is the equivalent of a Hallmark Channel mystery, but so corncob. Current new suspect is, I'm forgetting everybody's names, there's so many. Ron's boss, Max. I guess that he's just kind of been out of town since before the murder, and he hasn't been told about what happened to Ron, and he hasn't like called in with any updates. It's like nobody has heard from him, so that's kind of suspicious. I have a shirt on. It looks like I'm naked, but I'm not. So Hannah and Andrea have broken into Max's garage, and they found his car there, and it looks like he was like packing it to leave, but like he didn't finish, and nobody's there. The lights are off. They were able to weasel their way into finding out that Max never even showed up at this convention he's supposed to be at. So he's either missing because something happened to him, or he's missing because he's the bad guy. For some reason, because we're only 49% in, I think he's missing because something happened to him. I don't think we've found the killer yet. So now they've broken into the dairy, and they've broken into Max's office. And I guess like attached to Max's office is like a door to the original building, because it like was a tax write-off, and it made it a historic site or something. And they broke into there, and they found the original safe, and apparently it's open, and there's like gold cufflinks, a diamond ring, a Rolex, and they're not really sure what's going on, really, I guess, but I think something bad happened to Max. That's my thoughts. That something bad happened to Max, and whoever did it, Ron, because like Max had a meeting, and whoever his meeting was with, I think, kidnapped him and killed Ron, because Ron saw that Max was having a meeting with somebody, so he was like a witness that needed to be eliminated. That's my current thought process. Andrea just found Max. He's dead. He's very dead, and she's terrified, and he was shot in the same way that Ron was. So definitely same bad guy. So, we're learning from Hannah's mom that this Max guy was really disliked through town, and he caused a lot of families to lose their homes because he was a loan shark, and he has a lot of enemies. So, I feel like it might be one of these families that he caused to lose their house, kind of got their revenge on him, and Ron was just like a casualty, unfortunately, which is sad and tragic. Okay, I made it to 61% and I'm gonna break for the night. I'm right now very convinced that it's like the rich people's son, because essentially they found out that somebody who like rented a car from like a small company based in Minneapolis, which I'm pretty sure where that guy was from. It's where he'd like been living, had rented a car and whatever, and they, in like the background of a picture they took at the party, they saw an envelope with that company on it. So I really feel like it's like that guy, but we will see. Hello guys, I'm actually not looking like a toe for once, but I wanted to update you. I'm gonna brush out my hair because I have like some serious knots going on back here. But we are about to start reading for the night. I just put in some wax into my wax warmers. I'm preheating my heated blanket so that when I get out of the shower, it'll be nice and cozy. I'm probably gonna eat something. I'm gonna eat a salad, I think. And then maybe have some of these chocolate chip crunchies for dessert because I have about a gajillion of them. They like barely fit into a gallon plastic bag. So there's that, but we're gonna take a shower and then I'm hoping to finish her tonight. I've been reading it on my Kindle because if you know me, you know I'm a toxic human being that way. It said I'm 61% in. It says I have 2.5 hours left and it's only 7:30. By the time I get out and eat, it'll probably be like 8. And yesterday I didn't go to bed till 4 o'clock in the morning. I very easily could have finished this yesterday, but there's that. Also, I've gone past a couple of recipes. I don't think I'm going to make the ginger cookies because they're like crunchy ginger cookies and I like chewy ginger cookies. So that just feels like a no. And I passed some like cherry something and it has like maraschino cherries. I loathe maraschino cherries, so that's an absolute no. And I passed sugar cookies, which I don't really like sugar cookies either, so that was also no. Oh, and pecan chews, no. So I think I will be doing the lemon bars, which is the last recipe in the book, and those will be like the 2 recipes we do for this one, since there is only like 6 or 7 recipes in the book, and they're all sweets, and it's just me and my husband, so I think we will do 2 recipes for this video, and then in the later ones where there are some like savory options, like breads, rolls, like this and that cheese ball. Whenever I get to that book, we will be making that cheese ball. It's so good. But yeah, that's the plan. I'm gonna go take a shower, eat some dinner, and then we will get back into the good old chocolate chip cookie murder. Figure out who is out to get our boys. What is it, Max and Ron? There's so many characters. That's like my biggest complaint with this book, is I'm having such a hard time keeping track of who's who. Boyd, I'm pretty sure, who was the rich kid or somebody in the rich family, is ruled out as a suspect. Again, I can't even remember who's who. Just kidding. Boyd is the coach whose wife had been meeting with Ron, so despite my thoughts of him possibly being the killer, he is ruled out, but Rich Kid is still in. There is a lot of like weird fat-phobic things said in this book, and it's very cringe. Turns out that Watson, Boyd Watson, the coach, Danielle's husband, is not completely ruled out because of XYZ, but also Max's notebook said he had a meeting with W, and Watson starts with W. Could be him. Boyd is looking more suspicious. He beat the crap out of his wife because she forgot to buy more coffee. So, like, obviously bad vibes from this guy. Okay, it turns out that Benton, the rich kid, his dad, Del Woolley, so also a W, had loaned money from Max, and Max was really mean to him about it and was like, if you don't like my interest rates, you can just pay it off. So now we have a motive why this is either Dell or Benton, one of the two working together, could have taken out Max and then taken out Ron as collateral. And I feel like it's starting to come together. That's what I'm thinking now. Starting to really shape up. Y'all, a turn of events. Hannah went to go talk to Judith, the wife of the rich family, and she's like showing her Benton's plane tickets and gave him an alibi. And then she pulls out a gun on Hannah. What? What is happening? So Hannah throws tea in this old lady's face. She screams, drops the gun. Hannah attacks her, flips her onto her stomach, puts her hands behind her back, and as she's about to take out, or ties her hands with Judith's Hermes scarf. And then as she's about to go call Bill, her brother-in-law police officer, he barges into the room and is like, I'll take it from here. How did he get there? How did he know? I'm so confused. And how is this only at 71% of the book? The mystery has been solved. What else is there to do? Okay, Bill arrived because he got Hannah's message, because she called him and left him a message about the family. And then he went to the casino and she wasn't there. So then he went there, and that's how he found her. I guess that makes sense, but like it's one of those. Very convenient. Okay, y'all, we're on the epilogue, right? Epilogue. Somehow. But we're only 72%, and it says I have an hour and 46 minutes left in the chapter. How fucking long is this epilogue, and why? Now I gotta pull out the real book. One moment. Okay. I got the physical book out. Let me go to the epilogue. No, the epilogue's only 10 pages. I don't know why. I don't know if it has like this stupid novella and that's why it says it's that long, but like we're at the end of the book, guys. What the heck? Came as a shock because I'm only at 72%. Also, as somebody who like doesn't want kids, whatever, and so on and so forth, Dolores, Hannah's mom, is so annoying, constantly pushing on her to get married and have kids, and for Hannah to say, sorry mother, it's just that you're always trying to push me into marriage, and I've told you before, I'm perfectly happy being single. Yes, girl, stand up for what you believe in. 2 pages later, she's been asked out on 2 separate dates. You know what, honestly, girl, why choose? Have them both, baby, you deserve it. Gonna finish up this epilogue. Not much more left. Okay, and then after that, well, not like right now because it's like 10 p.m., but this week, at the end of this video, we're going to be making lovely lemon bars. They didn't really mention them very much in the epilogue, but this is going to be flour, cold butter specifically, powdered sugar, eggs, white sugar, lemon juice, zest of a lemon, salt, baking powder, and a little bit of flour. So I think we're going to make like a... Cut up the butter. Oh, we're making a pie crust. Okay. Sounds really good. Brought these to the pizza party following Mike Kingston's move the day after Bill solved the double homicide case and got his promotion. I'm a good sister-in-law. I gave him every spark of credit. We have the bonus novella, which I'm not going to read because I could not care less. But, okay. We will go into making the lemon bars now. You guys, we are back at it. It's been some time, probably like, I think like 2 weeks since we picked up this video, but we are going to complete it today by making the lovely lemon bar cookies. Yay! Woo! I'm excited for it. What's fun about this recipe is we're gonna actually be making like a crust, and then we will be making like, it's like a, more like a custardy type thing that we're gonna be making in the middle. I need to preheat the oven to 350. We will start there, and we need a 9 by 13 dish. We are gonna need flour, of course. It specifies that there's no need to sift in this recipe as well. I'm pretty sure the other one said that, but you know. Okay. Let's get our ingredients. Make you guys shorter. Got flour. check. We don't need a ton of stuff for, yeah, we only need 3 ingredients currently because this crust has to bake really first and foremost. So I'm gonna need a food processor. I only have a mini one, so this will be a situation, I guess. We need 2 sticks of butter. I'm gonna go shut the laundry room door because that's really annoying. Okay, we need 2 sticks of butter cold. It says chilled butter, and that's because we are gonna be basically following the steps that you would take to make a pie crust. So, next table, you're gonna learn some things here. Butter. 1 cup of cold butter, which is 2 sticks. Half of a pound. And then powdered sugar, which I may need to stand on a chair for. And these are all the ingredients that we need for this. We're not going to bother taking the rest of the ingredients out because this crust is going to have to cook for 15 to 20 minutes before we can even get to the innards. So what we're going to do, I might get out the blender. I think that would work better because I can't really do this in batches. So let me go get the blender. Got Miss Blender over here. She has quite a short cord. I don't know if she's even, I just moved the tabletop. Like it's not gonna reach the table. I'm in charge of where this table lives. Moving the table closer to the plug. Bada bing, bada boom. I really need to invest in like a bigger food processor because I only have my like little mini one, but we do have a blender and the blender has a pulse option, so I feel like that will work in the same way. Last thing I made in here, I ended up making a really big mess and I feel like it still feels like it's all over. Also, there must be water on the floor because I stepped on it and now my sock is moist. And I already hate wearing socks, so I'm gonna just remove these bitches. Put in the hamper whenever we're done in here. Anybody else hate socks? I feel like it comes across as a hot take to anybody I say. Tell that I do not like socks too. They're always like, okay, you weirdo. We are going to put in the flour, butter, and powdered sugar into a food processor and pulse it until it looks like coarse cornmeal, how you would start a pie crust. This is how you get it flaky, and you want the butter to remain cold because you want it to stay kind of like to make it look like cornmeal, like little crumbled balls. I'm gonna bring out my 1 cup and my half cup, whichever one works better. We are gonna need 2 cups of flour and 1 cup of powdered sugar. I'm just gonna throw it right into the blender, I think. It's probably like, let's set you guys up a better vibes. Can you see better this way? What's the best course of action? Get you closer to Miss Blender. Let's see the light that's in here from when I filmed y'all in the dock. There we go. That should be good. Blender. We're gonna do 2 cups of flour. I don't know if I've ever put stuff like this in a blender, but 2 cups of flour, half cup of powdered sugar, and it says to specifically cut each stick into 8 pieces. So into the, like, cut it on the tablespoon lines, I guess. There's our sugar. I will need more powdered sugar and flour. So I'm gonna leave these items just kind of out for the time being because why not if I'm gonna be reusing it. And let's get to the butter. So we need to cut it like on where the tabs are. Which will be really easy. We'll just open it like this. And you can still see where the lines would be. It doesn't have to be perfect. Okay, I'm just gonna literally toss these into the blender. And then we'll do the same thing with our other stick of butter. I'm really excited about this. I feel like lemon is kind of like a not controversial. It's like a love it or hate it type thing. I love lemon. So, works out great for me to get to make a nice little lemony recipe. Oh, I don't know if you guys just missed hearing that, but the oven just finished preheating. So it's like literally perfection timing. Let me see if it needs to cool before we put the innards in, because we might be able to like make the innards while this cooks. Pan you just baked and stick it. It does not say that it needs to cool, so yeah, this should work out great. We're gonna do this and we're gonna do the pulse. Might want to put the power on. Okay, it's doing its thing. Keep going. I'm gonna pulse it a bit more, make sure it's really mixed. All up. Is that necessary? Did that do anything? I don't know, but we're doing it. Looking cornmeal-esque. Let's grease her up. We're gonna do the granny method of greasing, aka the way I was taught baking with my grandmother growing up. We did a ton of baking together. One of our favorite things to do, and whenever I bake I do think of my grandmother. So the grandma method is you take some shortening, some Crisco, and you take some paper towel, and you literally just stick your paper towel in and scoop it out onto the paper towel, and then you do this way you're not missing any nooks and crannies. Make sure you get the edges so that nothing sticks. That's the granny way of greasing a dish. I do that usually, like the number one way, like thing I make that involves needing to do that is cheesecake, and it's with my grandmother's recipe. So we will just do that and then press it down. I might have fucked it up a little and made it a little bit too fine, but this is what we're going with. This also seems like a lot for this. Zoop it. It says to zoop it with a food processor. I don't even really know what zooping it means. Spread it out here. You need to turn the page of the book. Pat it down with your hands. As you can see, probably, it like conglomerates together. When you pack it in, it does like pack down. Kind of feels like I'm packing snow to make a snowball or like a snowman. But it's a bit thicker than I would anticipate, but I like a thick crust, so I'm not personally upset about that. I'm gonna wash my hands. I put a soap in the kitchen that I don't like the scent of, because I was like, we'll go through it quicker, because I feel like we fly through kitchen soap more than in the bathrooms, because we have 2 separate bathrooms and it's just me and my husband, so there's that. But this is just gonna go into the oven. We're gonna start at 15. It says 15 to 20. I'm gonna leave my oven, I think 20 will probably be more correct, but you can always add more time. You can't take time away. It's always my motto, so we always start with the lower, and the dishwasher's full, so we aren't going to the dish as we go. So now we are going to make the innard part of this meal. We have our KitchenAid mixer, and let's get out everything we need. We need white sugar. I think this is like enough. Do I have more sugar? How much sugar do I need? Maybe running to the store for sugar. I need to run to the store anyway, so it's not really that big of a deal. I need 2 cups, and this is not like giving the energy that it's gonna be 2 cups. Got flour. Oh, I might actually have backup sugar. Oh, I have backup flour too. Yikes. Oh, crap. Is this sugar? Are you sugar? No, that is flour. Oh, there is sugar. That is the backup, one of the two things of backup flour. And I'm going to, now that we've taken some flour out of the flour tin canister thing, see how much I can fill it to get rid of all of these partial bags of flour. Okay, that one's done. I have this other one. All of this flour. I might be able to fit this in here too, it'd be amazing. Good majority of it. I'm about one sweet treat away from being able to put all of my backup flour into the flour pot. Not flour pot? Oh my god, the flour canister. That, this can go in the trash. And then we'll fill in our sugar jar. Perfect amount to fill that. 1, 2, 3, 4. Crack a cold one, aka Diet Coke. 4 eggs. We need white sugar, lemon juice, lemon zest, salt, and baking powder. Okay. Baking soda. We got lemons and lemon juice. Here she is. And some salt. Mix the eggs with the white sugar. And the eggs do need to be like pre-beaten with a fork, which is fine. I'm just gonna put them in the mixer and beat them with a fork real quick. I'm also going to grab a bowl for my eggshells. Okay. So 4 eggs beaten. So you can tell it's gonna, with this amount of eggs, you can kind of like gather like the texture of this. Also, I do everything I can to crack eggs with one hand, so I have one left hand. Disgusting with raw egg on there. Cracking eggs with one hand is a lot easier than people may think. Also, I see people in like Facebook groups get eggs with 2 yolks, and I can tell you right now, if I cracked an egg and it had 2 yolks, I'd gag. I already think eggs are pretty disgusting. So just add to it. Okay. Egg. Check. Then we need to mix that with the white sugar. We need 2 cups. I'm gonna do 4 half cups because my 1 cup doesn't really fit in the canister. 2 cups, right? Yeah. A lot of sugar. Okay. We have that on my mixer. She's going. Get her all mixed up. And then we are going to add the lemon juice and the lemon zest. Juice. We need half of a cup of lemon juice. So we're gonna need that. We're gonna need to get out my zester. We have one. And I'm gonna use this paper towel to just put it underneath, like, where the bowl goes on the mixer to collect any drippings while I bring the bowl over here for you guys. Here it is. That's what it's looking like. Very creamy. We are gonna add in our lemon juice and zest. The zest is an optional ingredient, but I like things to be quite lemony, so I don't mind using it. 8 tablespoons or half of a cup. I do appreciate that it gives us looking very cheesecake right now. There's that, and we'll add our zest. How much zest did it say to use? 1 teaspoon or so. I'm not gonna like measure this. I'm just gonna like, that's why I got 3 lemons, so that I could just like do my best on all 3 of them instead of like having to try to like get every inch of the zest and worry about cutting my fingers. If you guys have a better method of zesting, let me know, because this is like not like really something I like doing. I guess I also don't make a lot of things that require zest. This also gives the vibes that you could do this like with any citrus that you like. Like you could do orange, you could do lime, you could do grapefruit. I'm feeling it's like a universal type of recipe that you could use really whatever citrus fruit you want, so long as you can get the juice for it, or juice it yourself, I guess. You could like juice it like anything, really. Okay. So we're gonna do that, and then we're gonna add our salt and our baking soda. It's like 1/4 of a teaspoon of salt, so I just kind of like do my best. And then a teaspoon of baking powder. I'm gonna be honest, I don't know. This is a 1/2 of a teaspoon. I'll just do 2 of these. I don't feel like looking. I don't really know the difference between baking soda and baking powder, but this recipe calls for powder, so we will use powder, of course. I love canisters that have like this right here to like scrape it flat. I find those so nice and helpful. Okay, we're gonna mix this, and then you need to add like a tiny bit of flour, like 4. I'm just gonna add it now. It's not really gonna make a difference. Add the flour, which is just 1/4 of a cup. It says like the amount of teaspoons. That's a 1/3 cup. I'm going to now put this back on our mixer, and it says to make sure it's thoroughly mixed. You don't want any chunks of flour left in there, anything. There's only 2 minutes left on our original 15-minute timer for the crust. Like I said, I do have thoughts that it'll probably take the longer measurement of time of the 20 minutes. I'm also gonna leave the powdered sugar out because there is a step at the end whenever it's cooled to add some powdered sugar on the top to make it pretty. And if I can make it pretty, why not? Just clean up a bit as we go. We do have our mixture, which we will need a rubber spatula when it comes time to do this. Oh, it's on my hands. Okay. So do this until it's golden around the edges. We are going to check and see if she's looking golden. No, she is looking pale as can be. So we're going to set another 5-minute timer. This is essentially ready to go, to be poured in. It's supposed to be runny, which it is. So we'll pour that on top and then cook for 30 to 35 minutes, and then sprinkle with additional powdered sugar. And then cut it through, let cool, and cut it into brownie-sized bars. So I'm gonna let this bake until the edges get brown. I think it might even take longer than 5 more minutes because like it looks exactly like it did when it went in there currently, like 0% golden, so slightly alarming, but we'll figure it out. I have put it in like for longer, multiple times now, and it's still not really seeming tan or golden on the edges. We'll look again. Okay, the edges are golden now. It probably took more like 25 minutes. I don't know if you can even tell. They're not like really golden, but they're like kind of golden. More golden than they have been any of the other times. The bottom's gold. So this table is like fine if I put that on there. We're just gonna add in our, it's so hot, other mixture, our filling. Pour this on top, leave the oven on, and cook for, I'm just gonna go with 35. 30 is definitely not gonna do it. Oh God, I wish I was holding this the opposite way. I'm gonna have to switch hands. I cannot scrape with my left hand very well. This isn't like as mixed as I think it might have, like, not solidified, but settled. I'm gonna put this in the oven for 30 minutes. Is that what it said, 25 to 30, or 30 to 35? I guess we'll start with 30. It's not gonna hurt to check it. It doesn't tell me what I'm looking for the 30 to 35. It just says 30 to 35. So that's not like the most helpful of things I've ever heard in my life. I also think I'm not going to cut these into bars, or I'm going to cut them, but I'm going to leave it in the pan because that pan has a lid and it'll be nice for storage. But set for 30 minutes. Okay, I was kind of worried I wouldn't be able to tell if it was done, but this was at 30 minutes is how it looked. So I'm gonna go with this is done. I also don't have like a sifter, but I have this, which is a can colander. I'm just gonna use this, I guess, to hopefully sprinkle over some powdered sugar. See if this works. Oh, definitely works. Hell yeah, look at me being innovative. I like a lot of powdered sugar, so we're just gonna like really make it look like it's snowing on this bitch. Okay, and that is that. It is complete, but we need to let her cool all of the way before we can consume her. So, I'm gonna leave it here to cool. Chris and I are gonna go for a walk. I'm gonna film a different video whenever we get back. It's for a later day in Bookmas of me preparing a super fun, unique, cute, bookish Christmas gift. So make sure you stick around till later in in Bookmas to be able to see what I come up with. But check in later this evening probably. I'm gonna give it a few hours to cool, and hopefully it's good. It's giving cheesecake. I just got,
Oh my god. You gotta be careful of them angles.
Here we are with our lemon bar. It's a lemon bar. The rest of it's in the fridge. I looked it up and you should keep them in the fridge.
Okay, so it's cold?
Well, this isn't. I put like the rest of it. It's like a lemon, kind of like a curd.
Mmm.
Like a pie crust and powdered sugar on top.
That's kind of busting.
Honestly, it's really good.
Actually, yeah, like, unironically, it's really good.
I think it's gonna be better when it's cold because the center will be more like firm.
Yeah.
You know?
I can see how it'd be better cold. Yeah, that's good.
It's really good. I like this more than the cookies.
Yeah, this is way better than the cookies. This is like a W. Oh, W.
If you know what that's from, you're a real one.
Give it a rating. I'll give it like an 8.
I was gonna say, I feel like I have to give it a 10 because there's nothing I would change.
Really? A 10? It's perfect dessert?
To me, it's not too sweet because it's very like...
Giving it an 8 now, but I feel like it'll be higher when it's cold. Definitely try this. Yeah, buck them.
It's so good. But thank you guys so much for watching this video. This is the first installment of the series, so I hope you're excited to see more. I think the next one is called something like strawberry shortcake. And I think I've decided that to commit that one of the recipes, I'll probably either make 2 or 3 recipes. If the book has recipes that aren't just desserts, because I know some of them too I'm more inclined to make more of them. It's just the 2 of us. We can only go through so much dessert. I think I'm committing to making the recipe that is the title of the book. Like, this was the chocolate chip cookie murder, so I've made the chocolate chip cookies.
Gotcha.
So strawberry shortcake will be in the future. But thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.
Bye.
Bye.